I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm on a bit of a nostalgic dessert kick. First up, it was fudge pops. If you haven't seen that video, you should totally check it out. Today, I'm making ice cream sandwiches. So delicious, and it's using my favorite combination of flavors, mint chocolate chip and chocolate. I usually have a mint chocolate chip hot fudge sundae. Today, it's an ice cream sandwich. In this bowl, I have 1 stick of melted unsalted butter, a cup of sugar, and to that, I'm gonna add 2 large eggs. The other great thing about this, besides nostalgia factor, which is always high on my list, is that it's really easy to make. You stir everything together for the cake right in a bowl. Using a whisk, no machines necessary. A ½ teaspoon of fine salt, and those ingredients can all be whisked together. Make sure everything is really nice and well combined, and then add a ½ cup of cocoa powder. This is unsweetened Dutch processed cocoa powder, and a ½ cup of all-purpose flour. This is a really cool cake. It's very thin. I mean, I'm calling it a cake, but it's really the cookie layer of your ice cream sandwich. You want to be careful here because cocoa powder has a tendency to fly all over the place. This is a 10 by 15 inch jelly roll pan, and I've buttered it and lined it with parchment, leaving an overhang. That'll help me lift the cake out later. Make sure you get all your batter into the pan. It's going to be very thin. Don't be surprised. You don't need too much cake/cookie on the outside of your ice cream sandwich. Make sure you have your oven preheating to 350 degrees. You don't want to get this all ready and then not have an oven ready, right? I mean, it would be okay. It could sit around for a second if you needed it to. It doesn't even have any leavener in it. Make sure that you really spread your batter into the corners. It's a pretty thick batter, but it does spread nice and easily. And you want to make sure that it's in the corners and that it's an even layer so that your cake is even when it comes out of the oven. This shouldn't take more than 10 or 12 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Once your cake is cooled, you want to make sure that it's cooled completely or your ice cream will completely melt when you add it. I like to cut my ice cream out of my container using a pair of kitchen shears just because I can then just peel it back and dump it out. Makes it easier. You don't have to do that. It's just a little tip from me to you. This ice cream has been removed from the freezer for a few minutes to soften up, but I want to soften it just further to make it a little smoother and easier to spread. So I'm putting it into a bowl, just sort of mash up with a spatula. If your ice cream was a little bit harder than mine was, you can use an electric mixer to soften your ice cream up. Take your cake and cut it in half. It smells like a Girl Scout cookie in here. And that is a good smell, I can assure you. My daughter's a Girl Scout. We're always eating tons of Girl Scout cookies all spring long after the sale. Not good for the waistline, I can assure you. Spread it to the edges. This is a pretty thick layer of ice cream. You kind of have to work quickly at this point because it can get a little bit melty, so cover up your ice cream with the other side of the cake and then just wrap this in plastic right in the parchment paper because it's just a little bit easier to handle, and then once it freezes, you can kind of do almost anything to it. Okay, get this into the freezer real quick. You want to make sure that it's fully set at least 2 hours and up to a couple days. So if you wanted to trim the edges, you totally could. I'm using a bain-marie or just a container of hot water to get nice clean slices with my sandwiches. That works great with all kinds of ice cream cakes, anything cold that you want to slice. So the cookie is frozen, but it's still kind of pliable. Let's taste it. I can't stop eating it because it's so good. Chewy, brownie-like cookie, delicious mint chocolate chip inside. It's like all of my favorite things rolled into one. Make these. You will be so happy that you did. You will be so happy. Hi guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click here if you want to subscribe and click over here if you want to continue watching more great videos like this.